This episode of Hydroshow is sponsored by Hydromag, the UK's independent hydroponics magazine.
Thank you, Nick. First of all, I went to see Panch at Greenfinger Hydroponics to find out more about the different ranges of growth mediums available on the market today. I'm here now with Panch at Greenfinger Hydroponics, who's going to talk us through the use of growth mediums. So Panch, I can see we've got a variety of growth mediums here, some of which are mixed.
Yeah, so I mean these days there's a vast array of mediums for the grower to choose from. And what you want to bear in mind when you're choosing your grow medium is what type of plant you're growing, how much aeration its roots needs, drainage is very important in a grow medium, and how often you're going to be feeding it. So are you hand watering, you're using a dripper system. With something like soil, you can see it's got a little bit of perlite in it here, this one.
Yes.
You've got to be very careful with waterlogging your roots because overwatering you won't get the drainage you need and you will get waterlogged roots. So what we do if we are using soil, which I like to avoid, but if I have to use soil, I'll put in plenty of perlite just so I can be sure I'm not ever going to overwater. Okay, so we've got Rockwool, which is perfect for a dripper system because you're going to get plenty of aeration to your roots there. Ceramis, this one at the back here, looks like tiny little bits of clay.
Yeah.
That holds a lot more water, so you've got to be careful you don't overwater that. Clay Pebbles, a very, very common choice for hydroponic growers, will hold very little water and allow it to drain through, hence the reason it's so popular for hydroponics growers. We've got one of my favourites here, Dyer Hydro, which is basically made from silicon, so it's going to provide all the silicon your plants needs. It also tends to hold a lot of water, so you can't underwater, it's very hard to underwater, but also the drainage with it is very, very good. And you've got the classic Coco fibre, which again gives you great aeration, but again if you're using drippers with cocoa fibre it is possible to overwater and waterlog it because you need plenty of oxygen for your roots to grow. So what we quite often tend to do with the cocoa fibre is mix it up with the clay pebbles and that will provide the drainage you need. And again you can see a mix here of the Dyer Hydro and the clay pebbles.
Yes.
The Dyer Hydro will hold water, the clay pebbles will allow it to drain through. So it's all about getting sufficient drainage for your root system to get the oxygen it needs to get a nice healthy root system going.
So you mentioned that Dyer Hydro contains silicon, which is used by the plants. Now, do any of the other growth mediums provide anything for the plants?
Okay, well, other than soil, which contains a little bit of silicon and some nutrition, they're all inert, so the simple answer is no, basically. The advantage of using these other mediums is you get much better drainage, so you're getting much better oxygen into your root system and much better root system as a result.
This episode of Hydroshow is sponsored by Hydromag, the UK's independent hydroponics magazine.